Thinking about buying a drum kit? Let's check this drum kit out. Yamaha Recording Custom Drums and Snare Drum Review and Demo. Let's get to it. Drummers, welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. Today I am super excited to show you my drum kit, which is the Steve Gadd Yamaha Recording Custom Kit. I'm going to go through all the drums. I'm going to go through the snare. I'm going to give you a complete tour of the kit. I'm going to let you decide if this is the kit for you. Okay, so let's start off by telling you that I tuned all the heads on the kit previous to this video using drum dial, which I'm going to do a video on this for you out there, drummers out there that are not familiar with the drum dial. It's a great drum tuning tool, and I kind of have a funny story about this drum dial as well, but I'll save it for my next video. So I put on two new heads. If you watched my last video about drum heads, Evans drum heads that I reviewed and demoed, I had a Remo white head on my floor tom. I took that off. I replaced it with this Evans G2 Clear. Also, for my snare drum, I took off the Remo head I had on and I replaced it with an Evans UV1. Now the Evans UV1 I did not review in my last video. I will do a review on those heads again down the road. As far as the cymbals go, I'm also going to do a review and demo of them, separate video. Obviously I'll be playing the cymbals today, but the focus of this video is going to be on these drums. All right, so without further ado, let's get started on these drums. So let's check out the specs on these drums, what they're made of, the lugs, the hoops, etc., etc. Working with legendary artist Steve Gadd, Yamaha have elevated the iconic Recording Custom series with new design elements, producing a refined, focused sound with enhanced, rounded, and deeper tone. All North American birch 6-ply shells with 30-degree bearing edges are complemented by the redesigned high-tension lugs that are weighted to enhance lower frequency. The result is an easy-to-use and easy-to-tune drum that redefines a classic signature sound suitable for drumming in any situation. Okay, so let's go over the sizes. We've got a small tom here that is 10 by 9. Then we've got a medium tom that is 12 by 10. Then we got a floor tom number 1, which is 14 by 12. And this one, which is brand new, I just got it, is 16 by 14. The bass drum is 20 by 16, and it's a raised bass drum. And the snare drum is a 14 by 5.5. This drum here, I like to tune it a little bit higher. I'm using Evans G2 heads throughout, and I like to have a nice tonality of descending notes. Usually I tune the drums in thirds, sometimes a fourth. I've even heard one of my drum students, she tunes her kit in fifths. That's a little bit too much for me, but I love going from high down to the low rumble. That's one thing that I really enjoy. Okay, next to this 10-inch, we've got this beautiful 12-inch tom. And like I was saying earlier about the birch shells, these toms sing. There is no doubt about it. The birch really allows a lot of tonality, a lot of resonance, and the birch really sings. And I love the sound of them. These lugs, these weighted lugs, allow the head to be tuned much more precisely. Now, one thing I want to talk about is how when you're moving the drums around, if you're a working musician like I recently retired. I have a video about my retirement from live performing, but I performed live for 40 years. I performed live with these drums. One thing I noticed about these drums, you move from a warm climate to a cold climate, which is your car. I live in Canada, a lot of cold here. in the winter time, which roughly lasts from November till about April, and then it starts to warm up. Then it gets ridiculously hot in July and August, but in those cold months, when you're switching from warm inside the house, cold in the vehicle, then back warm again inside the venue, if you're playing inside, a lot of drums, these lugs loosen. And you think they sound great at home, then you get them to the venue and you're wondering why they sound so bad. Well, it has to do with the temperature fluctuation causing the lugs to loosen. They literally move. Combined with the hitting, the striking of the actual instrument also causes the lugs to move. With these weighted lugs, there's no movement. I can go from warm temperature to freezing cold to hot temperature with those burning lights on you when you're on stage. Drum heads do not move an inch. That's what you're paying for with these higher quality drums, is little things like that. Moving on to this 14-inch floor tom here. This baby is awesome. I love this floor tom. Now, one thing about this floor tom is it has these legs here that are really easy to take on and off. The 14 and the 16 beside it. The legs are really smooth. The way that they've developed the clamping system on the floor tom legs is really, really awesome. I love it because they come out so easily. They don't slide in and out. They actually come off. So let me just unscrew it a little bit. You unclamp it. This is the 14, and this I just got 16. Beautiful, beautiful drum. You're going to hear them shortly. This drum here and this drum here, both of these floor toms have the exact same mounting system on them. They're identical drums. They're just obviously a little bit bigger. This one's a little bit bigger and a little bit deeper, but they're identical in terms of the setup and the lug system and the way that the clamping systems and mechanism works as well. Last but not least is this aluminum snare. I really love aluminum. This kit actually does come with a matching maple snare with the same color. I decided to go with what Steve Gadd actually plays, which is the aluminum snare. And it's great. I love this drum. I love this snare. I've used this on so many recordings and also live performances. You can't go wrong. Now, obviously, it depends on what kind of heads you're putting on these drums and this snare drum. I've got a Evans UV1. If you're unfamiliar with the UV1, it's Evans' revolutionary snare head that basically doesn't mark. This drum head will last you forever, which is unheard of because, as you can see with normal drum heads, they mark up. This one takes a beating and keeps on going. It's really incredible technology on this particular head. The drum itself, the throw off, so smooth, so beautiful, really awesome. And I use a narrow wiring system underneath. I don't use a really wide. It's basically what came with the drum, and it's about 3 inches, and it's really, really nice. Love it. Okay, this bass drum. I like a 20-inch bass drum. It's got a lifter on the bottom here so that you can see that the drum lifts up from the ground so that when the beater strikes it, it hits exactly in the middle. And that's one of the features that is really awesome about this kit. You don't have to go out and buy a lifter. The kit comes with the lifter, which is a huge bonus. One of the things that caught my eye when I first saw this drum kit is the way that they have the surf green against this brown hoop. It's such a beautiful contrast, yet, I mean, they're different, yet they just go together so well. This is such an eye catcher. So many people have complimented me on that contrast between these two. I mean, this is a beautiful colored stained hoop, and this here is a colored that they put on the drum head, and it's just beautiful. And I love these tension rods. They're so easy to set the drum up. You've got 2 on the bottom, which is standard, that require a key, but the rest of the kit are these easy to turn lugs that I really enjoy. All of the Yamaha hardware has these features, these kind of lugs. whether it be in a cymbal stand or a bass drum, and they're just excellent. As you will hear, the bass drum is really punchy. It's got a lot of bottom end. It sounds fantastic. Recordings excellent, a lot of control. I'm using an EMAD, Evans EMAD bass drum head on it, and it's got a little hole here for the microphone to go in, releases a little bit of air. I don't like these holes to be too big. I like a fairly smaller one, and the microphone fits in there really, really nice. It's got a beautiful Yes mounting system here at the top, and I really, really like this cymbal stand that you can put in here as well, just a little mini cymbal stand. This doesn't come, this is an extra accessory you got to buy separate from the drum kit, but the Yes system comes with the hole, and then you just have to go and buy the little attachment stand that goes with it. Well, we've talked a lot about these drums. Ultimately, the goal is to hear them. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to play the drums unmiked, raw camera footage. Then I'm going to put my Yamaha EAD10 mic / trigger on the, I'm going to set that up, and then we'll hear what they sound like mic'd up with some effects on it and stuff. Okay, let's do it. assessment of this kit is you cannot go wrong with this kit. Like I said in my other video, I traded in a DW Collector's Series with a broken glass finish, which was a beautiful drum kit. I'll put a picture in here. And I bought this kit. I didn't trade it in, I sold it, sorry. Of course, I didn't get the money that I wanted to get for it, because selling things used, even though it was a fairly new kit, it wasn't that old at all. I've had this kit for a few years, but this is my go-to kit. I love this kit. It's fantastic. I'm so happy I bought this floor tom very recently. I have a whole video about this floor tom if you want to check that out as well. And you can't go wrong with these drums. They are so fantastic. Now, one thing that I remember talking to the drummer Tommy Aldridge from Ozzy and Whitesnake, and I remember him saying, do not buy something just because it's associated with someone. So I want to make it clear, I did not buy these drums because it's connected to Steve Gadd. I bought these drums because they're awesome drums. They sound fantastic. They work for me. They do everything that I want them to do in all the scenarios that I use them in. And it had nothing to do with Steve Gadd, to be totally honest. It's awesome that Steve Gadd happens to use these drums, and I'm thrilled that I'm using a kit that a legendary drummer like Steve Gadd uses, but that's not the reason why I bought this kit at all. In conclusion, this drum kit, unbelievable drum kit. I highly recommend it. It comes with a hefty price tag. I'm not going to price it because I really don't know what the modern price is, because I bought this kit a few years ago. I think I paid about $4,500 for the snare, 2 rack toms, floor tom bass. So a 5-piece kit. This floor tom that I just added was about $1,000. So that's $5,500 plus tax in Canada, well over $6,000. In the US, I don't know what the pricing is. Maybe Sweetwater or some of the other stores, you can check it out and see what you can find on there. Also, if you go to my description, you will see links, affiliate links. I get a small commission if you actually buy something off of Amazon. If you go to my description, you will see links to get all this gear that is associated with everything that I do. I pretty much put a link to everything that I use to film the videos, as well as the drums, the cymbals, bass drum pedal, you name it. All the links are there so you can pick it up. And just so you know, I get a very small commission off anything that you purchase from Amazon. So Amazon links, I'm an affiliate, very excited about that. And that's an easy way to pick up this gear, just have it delivered to your house. Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining me on this incredible adventure with this amazing drum kit. Like I said before, you cannot go wrong with this kit. It suits any style. Any drummer can play this in terms of whatever style they're playing or anything like that. Please like, subscribe, comment. Check out my links to all the gear that I have here today and what you've seen today. And as always, keep drumming. See ya.